Hello and welcome back to the next tutorial in this series. Today I want to continue with the camera setup. I want to loosely position it throughout the scene over the course of the character's walk cycle. So I'm just going to move this or hide the layer that this is on, which is this one here. So I'm just going to press and hold Shift and hide that one. Right, I'm just going to scrub up with the camera, and as the character walks backwards, we're at this particular point in time at the moment, which is roughly 2 seconds in. Right, I'm just going to scrub up to 72. You can right click to position the timeline, or you can just left click in here and type in 72. Now I'm just going to press 7 in this view here and just go into top view, and I want to drag the camera into the center, and I'm going to press I for location, rotation, scale, and I'm going to scrub on another maybe 1-2 seconds. I'm going to bring this up to 110, and I'm going to grab it in what is the current Z direction, and just drag this forward. Just going to press and hold the middle mouse button just to rotate. I'm going to grab this in the Y and drag it up, and just drag this over, and maybe just a little bit further in to keep it close to the character. Okay, I'm going to press I, and again location, rotation, scale. Now I'm just going to scrub back here slightly. I want to add some movement to the character. So from about here, which is 20, we'll say 20 frames in. So you can just left click in here and type in 20, or I'm going to press and hold the middle mouse button. And I'm going to start here by left selecting the armature. I'm going to press Tab and left select pose mode. I want to put I'm going to press at 20. I'm going to press I and insert a keyframe for location, rotation, scale on his head. I'm also going to do it on his neck. So I'm going to press I, location, rotation, scale. And I'm also going to do it for his torso. So I'm just going to left select this and press I, location, rotation, scale. Now I'm just going to scrub on to 24. So I'm just going to left click in here, type in 24. And I want to change this to rotation. So I'm going to press Control Space and left click rotation. So I'm just going to have him look around the corner to make sure the rig is coming in past the door properly. Okay, maybe not too much, and I'm going to select the head and maybe the neck and rotate all three. Okay, now I need to put in insert a keyframe for these positions. So I'm going to select the head first to press I, location, rotation, scale. I'm going to do the same thing for the neck. Again, press selected and left and press I, location, rotation, scale, and exactly the same thing for the torso. Left select, press I and left select, location, rotation, scale. Okay, so as the camera scrubs in, he starts looking down, and maybe we get to 50. We can put in another location, rotation, scale. I want him to come up slowly. So again, for the neck, location, rotation, scale, and the head, location, rotation, scale. Now I'm just going to scrub on another, that's one, maybe roughly 2 seconds, up to 90. So he's slowly going to rotate to the opposite side. Okay, so I'm just going to select the torso and press Alt R just to get it back to its default rotation. I'm going to press Alt R for the neck bone. I'm going to left select the head and press Alt R. And now I can rotate this the opposite direction. Press I again, insert a keyframe and left select location, rotation, scale. The very same thing for his neck, just slightly rotate, I, location, rotation, scale. And his torso, just rotate over, and again press I, or left select, press I and left select rotation, location, scale. Okay, and then we just scrub on, the camera zooms in, and maybe he slowly straightens back up. So we can come in and just press Alt R for the torso, left select the neck, press Alt R, and again the head, left select and press Alt R. And now I can insert a keyframe here by pressing I, left select the neck, press I, location, rotation, scale, and again for the torso, press I and location, rotation, scale. Okay, and as he's coming back further, I'm going to left select the camera, and the last keyframe was here, so I want to scrub on slightly. I want to zoom into him a little bit. I'm going to have his head rotate so he's looking around the room and loses a little bit of focus. So I want to translate here just to drag this forward. So I'm going to press Control Space and left select translate. Just going to drag this in and maybe drag it to this direction a little bit. And I'm going to press R to rotate and Z for the Z axis. Just rotate this around. Okay, and I'm going to press I for location, rotation, scale. Yeah, that'll be fine. And I'm just going to scrub back from 140. I'll come back to 124. Sorry, 134. I'm going to left click in here and just type in 134. And I'm going to press I for location, rotation, scale. I'm going to do the same thing for his chest. I'm going to press I, location, rotation, scale. And again, I'm just going to right click at 140 and that brings us on to 140. I'm going to press Control Space and left select rotate. And I want to rotate his body just firstly back this way so he's having a look around. And press I, location, rotation, scale. And for his head, exactly the same thing. Left select and just drag it back without stretching him too much. And have him look up. And back a bit and just press I, location, rotation, scale. And now as he's walking back, I want to drag the camera on a little bit. So I'm going to come on a second, maybe second and a half, maybe almost 2, and just so if I come back to 170 and press I, location, rotation, scale, I do the exact same thing for his chest, press I, location, rotation, scale, and now come on to 180, just right click, I can press Alt R just to snap him back, and the same thing for his head, Alt R, and just have him look the opposite direction. And back a little bit. Maybe back a little bit more. Press I, location, rotation, scale, and exactly the same thing for his chest. Maybe just drag him so he's twisting a little bit. Okay, press I, location, rotation, scale. I'm just going to press and hold the middle mouse button just to have a look and see that he's not completely twisted out of. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, now for the camera. Again, I want to switch from rotate to translate, so I'm just going to press Control Space and left select translate. Okay, what I want to do is just drag it in maybe slightly. And maybe up and in. And at this point I might be just center him up a little bit and press I, location, rotation, scale, and then as he's looking, the camera is going to pan around after maybe 1 second. I want to rotate, so R to rotate, Z for the Z axis, and just rotate around. Just drag it up and drag it forward. Okay, roughly about here. I'm going to press I for location, rotation, scale. And again, I'm going to scrub on, just right select and drag to the right. I just want to come back here and see where he is on his journey. I'm going to press and hold the middle mouse button just to pan over this timeline. Okay, and as he gets close to the end of his path, I want to drag this forward, maybe come up and rotate in the X maybe a little bit, and then rotate in the Z, and press I, location, rotation, scale, and just scrub on now to 300. I'm just going to left click in here, drag this around, press R to rotate, Z for the Z axis, and just rotate this around. Just drag it down. Okay, I might just press R and X and just, sorry, R and Y, just straighten this up a little bit. And he's going to maybe have a look and see how this looks. I'm just going to press I for location, rotation, scale. Again, this can all be tidied up at a later point. It's just to get the roughly lay it out. Okay, and I think I'm going to leave it here for the moment. I'm going to press Control S and just save that, and I'll hope you enjoyed that one. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.